Did you know that the main reasons why people don't repurpose their content are exactly the same as the reasons why people don't exercise? Yep, those gremlins that keep us away from the gym are also keeping us from repurposing. Find out what they are in this week's episode.
Welcome to the Content 10X Podcast, the show where content creators learn how to harness the power of content repurposing. And now, your host, Amy Woods.
Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the Content 10X Podcast. I'm your host, Amy Woods. I'm the founder of Content 10X, and in this week's episode, I'm digging into the 6 reasons why people don't repurpose their content. Did you know that the reasons why people don't repurpose their content can be likened to the reasons why we don't go to the gym or exercise as we intended to? There are lots of people out there right now who know they should be repurposing their content but just aren't doing it. Are you one of those people? Now, I'm going to explain why you're not repurposing your content even though you know you should. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll know that I'm really into exercise. You might have seen me sharing content sometimes of me at the gym, lifting heavy weights, or on Twitter you might have heard me complaining about how we're asked to high-five the person next to us at the sweaty spinning class I go to, which I imagine is got to be a thing of the past now. Now, in just a moment, I'm going to explain how avoiding exercise and avoiding repurposing are very, very similar. But firstly, when it comes to content creation, there are 3 types of people in the world. Those who don't know about content repurposing, those who are aware of it and are learning more, and those who are fully versed in the benefits of repurposing. But even with the people who are totally convinced and on board with content repurposing, there's still a large amount who don't do it. So I meet so many people through networking, speaking at events, being on other people's podcasts and live streams, and the thing I hear time and time again is I know I should do more content repurposing, but I never get around to it. Or I know I should be doing more repurposing. It makes so much sense, but I just don't do it enough. Now, these are always the people who are creating lots and lots of new content. So maybe a new podcast every week, or they go live on LinkedIn every week, or have a weekly YouTube video and so on. The great thing is, for people who do this, they're sitting on a treasure trove of great content. It's all there waiting for them to repurpose, but they're just not doing it. So why do people who know about content repurposing not engage in it? Think of it like exercise. People know they should be exercising. It's good for their health. It's good for their well-being. They know they need to do this, but yet so many people don't do it or don't do it enough. And these people don't need to be given more information. They don't need to hear more studies or more data or more arguments. They have all the information and they totally get it. They know that exercise is good for them and they should do it, but they just don't do it. Now, there tends to be 6 reasons why people don't exercise or go to the gym even though they know it's good for them. And the same reasons can apply to why you don't repurpose. Now, what are they? Let's look at exercise first. Top of the list, they don't like it. These people know all of the benefits, but they just don't like exercising, and it's simple as that. Number 2, for other people, the problem is not knowing how to get started. They're aware that exercise is positive, but they lack the practical knowledge to get going. And you might think it's as simple as, well, go for a run. But some people might not know what is right for them and their individual needs, and that creates a barrier to getting started. Number 3, one of the biggest reasons is that change is hard. It's easier to keep doing what we've always done. It's easier to carry on with comfortable and familiar routines than forge on with new habits. And this can be compounded by not having an accountability structure too. If no one's forcing you to exercise, if no one is watching to make sure you do what you need to do, if there's no accountability, then maybe that's why you don't exercise. 4th, so for some people, the barrier is doubting the benefits of the end result. They're aware that generally exercise is good for a person to do, but they question whether it'll really help them in their particular situation. So they're suspicious of the work versus reward payoff. Namely, is the end result going to be worth all of the hard work that they need to put in?
Hey, just a little break from this podcast episode to ask you a question. Would you like one single place that you can go to that provides you with everything you need to be able to implement the best practices in content repurposing for your video content, your podcast episodes, and your social media content today? To help you get more value from the content that you create, get more time back, and help you reach more people than you ever thought possible. If so, then you are going to love the Content 10x Toolkit. The toolkit is full of video tutorials, templates, checklists, swipe files, step-by-step guides and more that shows you how to repurpose your content in the best ways possible today. No more Googling, no more figuring it out yourself. We provide you with everything that you need to become a content repurposing pro. If this sounds like something that would interest you, then go check out the Content 10x Toolkit at content10x.com/toolkit. Okay, and back to this week's episode.
Then fifth, so some people have played it small and not seen any results and then just given up. So they signed up for a 10-week yoga class or 1 month of CrossFit. They didn't go all in, they didn't see massive results, and so they decided that exercise doesn't work for me. Sixth, so another reason people don't exercise is because they've stopped and started a dozen times already. They've tried it in the past but never committed and stuck to the changes long enough to make it really work. Now, stopping and starting is very, very common and could be the result of any of the other reasons I've just mentioned. So perhaps they tried to start but stopped because they didn't like it, or they stopped because they didn't really know how to get going, or because changing habits is hard, or they think the benefits just aren't worth it. Now, with content repurposing, it's very, very similar. So if you're listening to this now and not repurposing your content, which of these reasons do you identify with? Is it because you don't like it? You don't enjoy content creation, so you don't like content repurposing? Is it because you don't know how to get started? We can immediately help you with this. Our regular podcasts and videos are full of advice on content repurposing. I've written a book to guide you through the process, and there's our content repurposing toolkit that shows you how to get started. So head to content10x.com/book or toolkit, and we can really help you on the journey. Or do you struggle with change? If you feel you're stuck in your ways, it can be hard to break out. Now, I recorded a podcast episode dedicated to helping you in that situation. It explains how you can build positive content repurposing habits and make repurposing part of your normal working week. So visit content10x.com/119 to listen to that episode. Now, are you not repurposing because you're someone who's not sure the benefits will be worth the hard work? If so, we filmed a video which may help you adjust your mindset. In it, I explain how successful brands are the ones who see creative work not as a cost, but as an investment in a resource that can transform their business. So head to content10x.com/investment to watch that video. Or maybe you're someone who has played it small and just not seen results. And if so, we've made a video for people in that situation. And in it, I explained the difference between playing it small and going all in, and how to rethink your approach to investment and expectation. So visit content10x.com/playbig if you want to find out more about that. So if you're not repurposing your content as much as you'd like to, and any of these excuses sound like you, we'll be going deeper into these topics in future content to provide you with lots of tips and advice that you need. And also remember that there is hope and there is help. So when it comes to exercise, you sadly can't outsource it and get someone else to do 100 sit-ups for you. But that isn't the case with content repurposing. If you have the budget, then you don't have to go it all alone. Now, with a workout regime, you can invest your budget in a gym membership or a personal trainer or online programs. There's always something to help you get started the right way, build positive habits and stay accountable. With content repurposing, you can do all of that too. You can consume free content, get paid education, and you can hire a coach, establish an accountability structure with a buddy or mastermind type group, or you can go a step further and invest in a team who will do it for you like we do at Content 10X. So it's working out what's right for you. So here's my question for you. If you aren't repurposing content as much as you should be, take a moment to consider which of those 6 categories do you fall into and why. And don't forget to stay tuned to the weekly Content 10X podcasts and videos for more help and support to get you over that hurdle. Okay, so thank you so much for listening to this week's episode of the Content 10X podcast. If you haven't got a copy already, then do consider getting a copy of my book, content10x.com/book, available on Kindle, audiobook and paperback as well. And also, if you want help with your content repurposing, then don't hesitate to get in touch with us as well, content10x.com. Follow me on social media. I'm at Content 10X on all the social media platforms, and I'm sure you'll find Amy Woods, founder of Content 10X, on LinkedIn. All that's left to say is thank you so much for listening to this week's episode, and I'll catch you in the next one.